Okay, so I made a video on COVID-19, the current pandemic that we are experiencing right now. So this is intended for my colleagues serving the front lines. This is my way of helping them because I'm sure most of them are very tired. They're very busy. They don't have time to do research, to study about this. So ang goal ko lang with this presentation is just to give them a basic understanding and a bigger picture of what we're dealing with. Okay, so disclaimer, this presentation only reflects my personal understanding of COVID. Please refer to infectious disease specialist, the WHO, CDC for expert opinion, official guidelines, and advice. So this is strictly for educational purposes. So I dedicate this to my family, my friends, and colleagues serving in the front lines. Okay, so let's start. So the outline of my presentation, first, what is COVID-19? I'm gonna talk about the profile of the virus, and then I'm gonna talk about the epidemiology, first worldwide and then locally in the Philippines. The mortality risk, sino yung mga at risk, how this disease is diagnosed, ano yung pathophysiology ng disease na to, how does it cause sickness or even death, and then treatment, what can we do pagka nagkaroon tayo ng sakit na to. And then I'm gonna talk a little bit about the curve. And then lastly, I'm gonna end with the frequently asked questions. So I can dispel some of the myths, um, yung mga misunderstanding that we have with this disease. Okay? So first, what is COVID-19? So COVID-19, it's part of the coronavirus family. Kamag-anak niya yung SARS that we saw in the early 2000s and the MERS that we saw around 2015. So as a virus, ang tawag sa kanya is SARS-CoV-2. Okay? But when it becomes a disease, ang tawag niya sa kanya ay COVID-19. Okay? So COVID-19 or SARS-CoV-2, it's an RNA virus that is enveloped, single-stranded siya, and positive sense siya na virus. So how does it spread? Respiratory droplet, not airborne. So ano ibig sabihin nun? Pag sinabing respiratory droplet, makakahawa lang siya pang malapitan. Okay? Pag sinabi mong airborne, nakahawa siya kahit malayuan. So, hindi po. Okay? Nakahawa lang siya pang malapitan. Okay? It can also spread via fomite. Ibig sabihin, um, hahawak ka sa surfaces and then pwede ka ma-infect by doing that kung mapunta siya sa katawan mo. Okay? And then virulence. Ano ibig sabihin ng virulence? Ano yung meron sa virus na to na nakakapagdulot ng sakit? Ang sagot ay spike protein. Okay? Ito yung ginagamit niya para makapasok sa loob ng katawan ng tao. Spike protein. So, incubation, gaano katagal ang kailangan ng virus na to para tumubo sa katawan at mag-cause ng mga karamdaman. So, average 5 days. Okay? Ano yung mga sintomas na dinudulot nito? Cough, fever, fatigue, shortness of breath. Okay? So, ang treatment, mainly supportive. Bakit? Because 80% ng nagkakaroon ng COVID-19 nagre-recover. Okay? Pero dun sa mga hindi, merong mga experimental drugs na ginagamit, pag-usapan natin mamaya. And of course, yung iba na naka-recover na, syempre may antibody na sila, immune na sila, so nagta-transfuse na yung iba. Okay? So, epidemiology, worldwide total case as of now is 723,000. Active case is 536. Closed case, 185. Total deaths, 33,993 with a fatality rate of 4.7%. So, medyo mataas yung fatality rate, but do not panic because yung total case na nakita natin, hindi pa yan yung final. It's expected to be much larger than that because we haven't done massive testing yet. Okay? And we can also see na dun sa mga active cases, 95% lang yung 95% mild condition lang. 5% lang yung seriously ill. Okay? And then we can see 82% recovered. Okay? So, in the Philippines, 1,418 yung cases, total deaths of 71 with a fatality rate of 5%. And then, ang nag-recover ay 42. Okay? So, sino yung mga at risk? Okay? Ano yung mortality risk? So, para sa mga kababayan natin na matatanda, greater than 65, mga senior citizens natin, please po, mag-ingat po tayo at wag na lang po lumabas ng bahay dahil sobrang at risk po kayo, mataas po yung chance nyo na mamatay kapag magkaroon po kayo ng COVID-19. Okay? Sino po yung mga ganun? Yung mga merong mga karamdaman na gaya ng sakit ng puso, sakit sa baga, diabetes, saka yung mga immunocompromised, mga patients natin na may cancer, HIV, medyo mataas yung risk pag nagkaroon kayo ng COVID-19. Okay? So, 10.6 pag may sakit ka sa puso, 7.3 pag may sakit ka sa baga, 6.3 pag may diabetes ka, 5.6 pag immunocompromised ka, may cancer ka, may HIV ka, nagki-chemotherapy ka. Okay? Sa mga patients naman natin na na-admit na sa pasyente, sa ICU, pag nakita tayo ng mga mataas na AST, ALT, mga enzymes, D-dimer, ferritin, CKMB, troponin, that indicates end organ damage, medyo tumataas rin yung mortality risk nila. Okay? So, diagnosis, paano ba ito dinadiagnose? So, of course, ang gold standard is RT-PCR. So, ang ginagamit dyan ay nasopharyngeal or pharyngeal secretion, sinaswab yan. Okay? And then, we have the rapid testing wherein we look at antibodies. Okay? So, antibodies, ang lalabas lang dun sa test is IgG or IgM. Pag lumabas IgM, ibig sabihin, infected yung pasyente. Okay? Pag lumabas IgG, ibig sabihin, vaccinated yung pasyente. Pag lumabas IgM and IgG, ibig sabihin, nag-recover yung pasyente. Okay? But take note, mga false negatives sa mga test na yan because take note of the 2 to 14 days incubation period of the virus. And for rapid testing, hindi secretion ginagamit. Serum po yan. So, finger prick. Okay? So, dahil nga may false negative yung dalawa, we use chest CT. Okay? Ang chest CT is sensitive but it's not specific. Yung RT-PCR naman, it's not sensitive but it is specific. So, ano makita natin sa chest CT? So, usually, ang nakikita, consolidation, gangrenous opacities, and crazy paving. Ano yung crazy paving? Nakita natin dyan. So, yung lungs parang nagiging crazy paving. Okay? So, and then, of course, we correlate everything we see sa clinically. So, what we look for is fever, cough, shortness of breath, fatigue, mga ganyan. Okay? So, take note, though RT-PCR is the gold standard, medyo mababa yung sensitivity niya, especially with the logistical and testing problems that we have because of the global shutdown. So, ang suggestion, even if you have a patient with RT-PCR negative results, pero positive yung chest CT niya, meron kang high index of suspicion, admit mo pa rin siya sa COVID patient. Because the worst thing you can do is sabihin mo, RT-PCR negative ka naman, uwi ka na lang, or di kita admit sa COVID ward. Yung pala, positive talaga siya. So, maka-infect siya ng maraming tao. Okay? So, pathophysiology. So, how does this disease cause sickness? So, itong virus na to, it uses its spike protein, nag-a-attach siya sa ACE2 receptor ng type 2 pneumocyte in the lungs. Okay? Inside there, it replicates, and then pagka nag-replicate na siya, aalis siya doon to infect other cells, destroying the cell kung saan siya galing. Pag nag-destroy yung cell, the alveolar macrophage will pick up the pieces, mag-release siya ng cytokines, IL-1, IL-6, TNF-alpha, magkukos siya ng inflammation, vasodilation, fluid, and neutrophils, so pus will accumulate, and then pwede ka mag-septic shock. Okay? And then, of course, type 2 pneumocyte is the stem cell of the lung, so it also secretes surfactant. So, maubos yung type 2 pneumocyte mo, bababa yung surfactant, your lung is prone to collapse. So, magkakaroon ng decrease in ventilation, you will create pulmonary shunts, and then you will develop ARDS eventually. Ito yung most common cause of death, okay, sa mga COVID patients. So, just to explain further, I made a diagram to make it visual. Forgive my drawing. Pero, okay, so let's just repeat it. So, first, you have the coronavirus on top with the spike protein. It uses spike protein, attached sa ACE2 receptor. Pag nasa loob na siya ng cell, release niya yung single-stranded RNA niya. It will bind to the host ribosome, and then it will undergo translation agad. It will create polyproteins or polypeptides. Okay? At the same time, yung positive sense single-stranded RNA na yan, it can use RNA-dependent RNA polymerase wherein it can make RNAs from RNA. So, diba? Amazing. So, and then the proteins will be acted upon, proteinases, further breakdown, it will create yung mga byproducts na kailangan niya. So, gagawa ulit siya ng spike proteins, ng envelope, and then magmi-mix yung dalawang yan, mag-assemble yan, panibagong COVID virus na naman yan. And then, pagka naka-assemble na siya, COVID virus na siya ulit, naka-reproduce na siya, aalis na siya ng cell, papatayin na niya yung cell, yung type 2 pneumocyte. Okay? So, and then the macrophage will come in. So, eventually, ARDS or eventually death will happen. Pag naka-recover, usually patients are prone to develop fibrosis. Okay? So, treatment, mainly supportive, 80% recover. Okay? So, you just give acetaminophen, biogesic para pababain yung fever, and then you give fluids. So, supportive lang. But for the critically ill, there are experimental drugs that we use, and it's very helpful to know this diagram because this is where the drugs come in. So, tocilizumab, it inhibits IL-6. Okay? Chloroquine naman, it inhibits viral entry. Anti-malarial to, pero sabi nila, when given to COVID patients, it will change the conformation of the ACE2 receptor. Okay? It inhibits the viral entry. Ritonavir, antiretroviral to, protease inhibitor, alam na natin to. So, it will inhibit the proteinases, hindi siya makagawa ng byproducts. Okay? Remdesivir, it inhibits the RNA dependent polymerase, so hindi siya makagawa ng RNA niya. So, hindi siya makakapag-replicate pag nangyari yun. Okay? And then the vaccines, we're talking about vaccines. There's a lot of vaccines, potential candidates already on the way, pero ang nangunguna is a company called Moderna. And it's quite exciting because Moderna, it's using an mRNA vaccine. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Usually mga vaccine, di ba, it contains dead particles, weakened live particles ng bacteria or viruses, and then i-inject sa atin. Pero ito, it uses mRNA. Wala siyang virus particles at all. mRNA lang siya. Okay? Kailangan lang niya yung sequence, which it already has from China. So, meron siyang sequence, so ginagawa na siya ng Moderna. So, ang mangyayari is the mRNA will be injected sa atin, and then the mRNA will use our own body to create the antibodies to fight off the infection. Okay? And then some, they're using transfusion, nagtra-transfusion sila dun sa mga nag-recover na pasyente to transfer the antibodies passively. Okay? So, epidemiology, there's another concept. It's called the R-naught or the replication potential. So, ang COVID-19, medyo mataas yung R-naught niya, 2.3 to 2.5. Ano ibig sabihin niya? Ibig sabihin, for every one COVID patient, he or she can infect 2.3 to 2.5 persons. Okay? So, mataas yan kasi exponential yan. So, mangyari, kung ganyan ang R-naught, ang growth niyan is 2.5 times 2.5 times 2.5 times 2.5 times 2.5 hanggang sobrang dami. So hanggang ganyan nangyari kaya naging 700,000 and more pa. We're expecting more. So ang goal natin is the R-naught is to reduce it na less than 1. So ang magiging math, pag less than 1, let's say 0.5, 0.5 times 0.5 times 0.5 times 0.5, eventually maging 0. Okay? So that's our goal. So, this is the curve. So, yung curve na to, pinaplot lang number of cases sa time since the first case. So, ang ayaw natin is yung peak ng curve is na mag-exceed dun sa line, dun sa healthcare system capacity line. And ayaw rin natin na sobrang taas ng peak. Okay? Kasi pag sobrang taas ng peak, we overwhelm the healthcare system. Okay? So, gusto natin i-flatten yung curve, and we also want to raise the line. Okay? So, what does it mean to flatten the curve? Meaning, wag natin i-overwhelm yung healthcare workers. Okay? Mas okay na napakonti-konti yung cases kaysa sobrang dami. Okay? And then we have to raise the line. We have to meet the increased demand. Okay? Kasi increased demand pa rin naman kahit anong mangyari. Basta wag lang sobra-sobra. Okay? So, how do we flatten the curve? So, of course, we're doing it right now, social distancing, because sabi nga, ang hawaan is malapitan. Okay? So, don't go into crowded places, stay at home. Ayan. And do not panic. Okay? Do not panic. And then pagka meron kang sintomas, feeling mo na nahawaan ka, don't go to the hospitals right away. Okay? Tawag ka muna. Why? Because minsan, wala ka naman talagang COVID. Okay? Then pumunta ka hospital, na-expose ka sa may COVID, nahawaan ka talaga. Okay? Pangalawa, pumunta ka kaagad, nagpanic ka, nakahawa ka pala, wala kang instructions, on your way there, makahawa ka ng mga iba. Okay? Pangatlo, remember that 80% recovers. Okay? So, number 4, wash your hands. Okay? Lagi, wash your hands. And then, don't touch your face, the T-zone. Sabihin yung eyes, nose, saka mouth. Huwag mo hahawakan. And then, if you feel na symptomatic ka, medyo mas pakiramdam mo, you self-quarantine yourself. Okay? So, raising the line. How do we raise the line? So, first, we protect the healthcare workers. We give them proper PPEs, N95 mask, gown, gloves, eye shields. Sana lahat ng kailangan nila to protect themselves, bigay natin. And then, let's volunteer para sa elderly natin, healthcare workers, anything we can do to make their lives easier. If kaya natin, let's do it. And then, we have to equip the hospitals, bigyan natin ng bed, ventilators, medications, etc. And then, we can cancel the elective procedures. So, focus muna tayo sa COVID cases. And then, we should try to discharge our healthy patients faster para we can make more spaces para dun sa nangangailangan sa mga critically ill na COVID patients. And then, we can utilize online education, telemedicine, teleconferences, which we are already doing right now. Okay? So, frequently asked questions. So, we end with here. So, ang tanong, can the virus survive on objects? Di ba, virus to, kailangan ng living host. So, ang sagot is yes, it can survive. Pero tama ka that a virus needs a living host, pero it only needs a living host to thrive, to replicate. Pero kung survival lang usapan, it can survive ng matagal. So, mga days. Kaya it is capable of fomite transmission. Okay? Mas kaya mag-survive sa mga matitigas na bagay like cellphone, doorknobs, table, kaysa sa mga damit, ganyan. Okay? So, it makes sense to clean the surfaces. Okay? Makakatulong ba yung NSAIDs, ACE inhibitors, ARBs, para sa COVID? Ang sagot is we don't have enough evidence. Pero I read a study na if you lower your angiotensin 2 levels and you take ARBs, it can help. Pero there is not enough evidence. So how does it help? It helps by inhibiting the virus to bind the ACE2 receptor. Okay? So, but not enough evidence. So, ang advice pa rin dito is if may prescription ka ng ACE inhibitors, may prescription ka ng ARBs, nagtitake ka ng mga yan, continue taking them. Okay? For NSAIDs, ganun din. Will climate affect the course of this pandemic? So, we are not sure. Pero it seems na yung COVID-19 kasi, mas prefer niya, it does better infecting people in cold and dry environment. Okay? So, merong mga speculation na sinasabi na in warm and moist environments, mas hindi siya ganun ka-infectious. Okay, so how come HK, Taiwan, Mongolia, China, and South Korea are already recovering? So, sila kasi they were able to prepare earlier. China had mandatory total lockdown. They locked down cities. And then South Korea, they were able to test immediately. Tsaka very massive yung ginawa nilang testing. And then they have efficient contact tracing. So, yun yung mga naging key practices nila. Okay? So, ito, next. Very important. What's the difference between surgical mask and N95? Ano yung kailangan ko gamitin? 100% protected ba ako? What if we run out? Ano yung pwede kong gawin? So, ang sagot is even if you have mask, you are not 100% protected. Pero you are decreasing your risk very, very, very significantly. Okay? So, yun. So, anong difference niyan? So, surgical mask and N95, magkaiba po yan. So, surgical mask, ang filtering capacity lang niya is greater than 5 microns. Okay? It will prevent particles from going out only, not going in. It is used for droplet precaution. So, sino yung mga kailangan magsuot niyan? yung mga persons under investigation, yung mga feeling mo, meron kang COVID, and yung mga COVID patients themselves. Okay? So, N95, ano yung N95? Yung N95, mas malakas yung filtering capacity niya. Less than 5 microns yung kaya niya i-filter. It is the only mask that prevents particles from getting in. Okay? So, it is used for airborne precautions. So, it can filter aerosol particles. Tandaan natin, yung COVID-19, it is not airborne. It is not an aerosol. Pero bakit, bakit kailangan mag N95 ng mga frontlines and healthcare workers? Because they are in very close contact with COVID patients. Okay? So, sana yung mga N95 mask natin, let's reserve them for our healthcare workers. Okay? And then for our healthcare workers, pagka mag-N95 ka, make sure you are making a tight seal and you're clean shaven. Okay? Kasi kung hindi tight seal, makakapasok pa rin yung mga particles. Okay? So, at least clear na yon. So, what if we're short on N95? So, merong global shortage of N95. So, here in the US, they are exploring yung recycling of N95 mask. They are using vapor phase hydrogen peroxide. Ang gumagawa niyan is the Batel. Okay? So, meron silang decontamination system. So, the system, what they're doing is they are barcoding all the N95 mask per hospital. Tapos, meron silang mga recycling bins and then, so, they recycle. So, they're barcoding para kung saan hospital galing yung mga N95, pag di gamit, dun nila ibabalik. Okay? So next, testing. How can we improve testing? So ang mga advances so far is available na ang point of care testing. Ang gumawa niyan is Abbott. Ang tawag dun sa machine is Abbott ID Now. So it uses real-time RT-PCR. Okay? So kung dati it will take a few days para makuha yung results, ngayon pagka pumunta ka na sa office, 5 minutes may resulta ka na. Okay? And then next is self-swabbing. Dati kasi ang mandate is only healthcare professionals can swab. Pero napatunayan ng United Health, Bill and Melinda Gates, Quest Diagnostics, University of Washington, na self-swabbing is also sufficient in detecting COVID-19. So, ngayon meron ng approval to do self-swabbing. Okay? So, that's it. And this is my major resources. Hope you learned a lot, and if you have any questions, please contact me at this email address. So, thank you very much. I hope you got a basic understanding and then you saw the bigger picture. So, take care and God bless.